Good morning. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And this is the P.I.L.L Method Club on Clubhouse. And we're also simulcasting to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, so people can see what we're talking about, not just hear it. Oh my goodness, we're going to get started. If you are on Clubhouse and you want to see what the examples we're going to be putting up on the screen, then you want to go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, search P.I.L.L Method, and then you will be able to see what we're doing. Click on that live. All right, folks. We've got some folks in here this morning. Brenda says good morning. And let's see, Miss Bell. Is that Masita Bell from South Carolina? Good morning to you. All right. Anybody else in the room? Say good morning and tell us where you're from. And if you're online, go ahead and do the same. Put something in the comment section. Let's start a conversation. All right. So, folks, what we're talking about today is the truth. The truth will make you debt free. The truth will make you debt free. And how do I know that? Is because when you do things in a certain way, you will get a certain result. You can't help it. You can't help but get a certain result if you do a certain thing. And let's start with this. Most people are in the financial condition that they're in, not because they were irresponsible with their money. It is because they're following the advice that's currently being touted as best practices. We're being conditioned to think that the advice that we're getting from the experts is the right thing, when in fact it is the very thing that's keeping us in debt forever. We're going to be talking about that today. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, the first thing we want to do is talk about someone who saw what they were doing. They thought they were doing it the right way, came across the P.I.L.L method, and decided to do it a different way. And it made such a big difference in his life. I am proud to say that the P.I.L.L method has helped the most renowned motivational speakers on the planet. The number one motivational speaker on the planet right now is Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. Let's hear what he has to say about the P.I.L.L method right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
This is powerful, folks. People have been seeing this. They've been watching this on the internet and on television, and they're calling the office nonstop every single day. They want to know what it's like to be debt-free and stress-free. And if you want to know, you can go to, let's go ahead and put my 10K card at the top of the room. Good morning, Credit Goddess. How are you doing? Let's say good.
Hey, Don. Hey, Don.
What are you up to? I'm putting some stuff on at the top of the room. Tell us what's going on with you.
Oh, listen, I'm about to go work out. Listen, this is the New Year resolution, New Year, new me, and I am doing what I say I'm going to do, whether I'm fighting with myself or not. So I'm getting up and going to take a jog. That's what I'm going to do right now in the next 15 minutes.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in here and spending some time with us. But for the time that you are going to be here, please introduce yourself, tell the folks what you do, and then, folks, I need you to follow her. And if she says something that resonates, click on her bio, and then send her a message before she gets out of here. All right, Rose, talk to us. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2023. My name is Rose Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit coach, NAV business loan broker, and an educator at Be Free University. So I am here to support any of you guys. If you have any credit related questions, feel free to ask. I know Don is going to always provide you great content in regards to how to save on interest costs with his P.I.L.L method. But credit is so important as well. I know most of you guys are probably tapping in, just wanting to see if it's a good time to purchase a home and you're worried about the interest rate and you want to get your credit together. So that's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why he always would like for me to like chime in when it comes to this topic. So if you guys are steering in that direction and want to talk about credit, I am here for you guys. So definitely tap in. Thanks, Don.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Listen, folks, today, if you want to know more about how this works, you have to know the rules to the game. And right now, we don't. Eric Thomas didn't know. And now he is debt-free, mortgage-free, and his wife feels a whole lot better. If you want to know the month, day, and year, you could be debt-free. And we could do that in an average of 7 to 9 years. I just brought a new couple on from California last night. They were amazed that they're going to be able to pay off their debt in California in 4.5 years. When I showed them, then what they did was they're going to be closing on two rental properties this week. So they put that information into the opportunity cost calculator along with the rents that they're going to be receiving. And now they're going to be debt free on 3 properties and a HELOC in 5.5 years. That's how powerful this is. That's what we're talking about. It's called interest cancellation, folks. And that's what's happening. And listen, you know who else is taking advantage of interest cancellation and doing some great things in real estate? Dawn Robinson, who just came to the stage. Haven't seen her in a while. She's been out there doing her thing. Miss Dawn, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for the invite.
All right. Listen, we're going to be talking about the truth will make you debt free. What do you think about that title?
It made me smile. Anytime we talk about dumping some debt, I'm excited about it. I think that's true. I think that just off face value, just joining in, when I see that, it tells me, for me, it's like, how do we make sure that when we pay off debt, we paying it off the right way? And that there is a value, there is a benefit in eliminating some of this debt. We always talk about other people's money, but they never tell you have to pay it back. And there's a strategy between using leverage and being able to, quote unquote, unleverage yourself from it as well. Because again, you're not financially free until work becomes optional.
That is so true, folks. So listen, if you want to know more about what we're talking about, if you have debt and you want to manage it well and cut your interest cost on that. Listen, here's what we're talking about. We're going to be telling the truth today. And the reason why we need to tell the truth is because banks don't produce anything. They don't manufacture. They don't produce. They don't make. All right. What they do is they rent money. And they've designed it so that they can rent that money for as much as they can for as long as they can. I like using the bank's money, but I don't like paying retail for my money. I like getting my money at wholesale prices. You can do it too. Anybody can do it. And so if you're tired of paying all that interest, you don't have to. And you can learn how to cut your interest cost and do it efficiently. You can do it optimally, meaning there's no other program on the planet that saves interest like this program can. No one else even comes close. All the popular ways of handling the debt, if you compare them side by side, like the P.I.L.L method and let's say the snowball method or the avalanche method, then those who are using the P.I.L.L method are going to pay on average $50,000 to $75,000 less in interest on the same type of debt. So what good is being debt free and then find out you paid $75,000 more interest than you needed to pay in paying off your debt early? Oh, we don't want to do that. So what Dawn was talking about is true. Let's do it efficiently. Let's do it the right way. Go to my link up above and click on ice10k.com, ice10k.com if you're watching us on the streaming platforms, so that you'll be able to find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Follow the directions. Fill out everything. And then our staff will get a hold of you and then let you know the month, day, and year you can be debt free and how much interest you can save. I am excited to do this. We started out the year with a bang. I mean, it seems like people are calling nonstop right now. And in fact, all of us are busy. As soon as I get done with this show, because it's a 2-hour show. As soon as I'm done with the show, I have to immediately get on the phones and start talking to people. Our staff, we just brought on a brand new administrative assistant just yesterday to help handle the phone calls. So folks, if you want to know what the month, day, and year you could be debt free within a 7 to 9 year window, this is the way to do it. If you want to save the most amount of money in interest, this is the way to do it. And then go ahead and then invest that money in interest that you would have paid the bank. I am excited to do it. And guess what, Dawn? Guess what, Credit Goddess? We found out, even though hey, Barry, how you doing, buddy? Barry is watching us on YouTube this morning. Folks, we found out that we can't help everybody. We can't talk to all the people. We need your help to do that. That same card, that same digital card that you just clicked on, at the top of the card, you can become a YouTube affiliate. A P.I.L.L method affiliate. I'm sorry. I just get so excited. You can become a P.I.L.L method affiliate. By becoming a P.I.L.L method affiliate, folks, you will be able to refer people to the P.I.L.L method. And it's so easy. All they to be eligible for a $300 referral fee, just sign up to be an affiliate. It's free. Sign up to be an affiliate. Then what you do is that you find someone who wants to be debt free in an average of 7 to 9 years, send them to the P.I.L.L method channel and let them watch some of my videos. Contact them within 48 hours, no more than 48 hours. Contact them within 48 hours and ask them if they want additional information. And then fill out the referral sheet and put your name in as the referring partner. And those two buttons are side by side on my card. All right. Now, to be eligible now, the person that you send us has to have at least one mortgage and be at least $100,000 in debt. If they are with a combined, if they have $100,000 in debt and they have a mortgage, all right, then they qualify. But guess what? If they have a mortgage, most likely they're going to be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in debt, and that's going to be good for them. We're going to be able to show them how to pay off all of that debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. Not just the mortgage, but the student loans, the credit cards, the car loans, all of it, the credit cards, all of that stuff gone in an average of 7 to 9 years. And we need your help today to get it done. And if you need a textbook to help you to understand what's going on, get the P.I.L.L Method book. You can find it on Amazon. It's been a 5-time bestseller. It's heading for a 6th time. So, folks, let's go ahead and jump right in today. If you have a question or comment, raise your hand, come to the stage, and let's talk about the truth about that will make you debt free. Let's first talk to Dawn and so she can introduce herself and tell us what she does, and then I'll jump right in. Miss Dawn, if you're still there, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Dawn Robinson, the Money PhD. I am a personal finance educator, coach. Mainly, I help you understand how to keep your money. We all learn how to make a money, but we don't know how to keep it without eating beans and rice. I was a single parent of twins as a teenager, turned millionaire by age 44. Well, but it was not without making plenty of bad money mistakes, where I could have been a multimillionaire by now. And so that's what I teach. Typically, women over 40, professional women that are trying to create an opportunity for themselves to make work optional. And I'm going to stop right there today, Dawn. Thanks for allowing me to introduce myself.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, I can't wait and to find out about your latest acquisition, because I know you have one.
Actually, I have a de-acquisition. I actually sold this house. Sold the
What?
house. Yeah. I'm cleaning up some stuff.
All right, listen. Listen. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about that to inspire somebody to do the same thing. Can you give us a little information? Can you teach us a little bit of something about that today?
Yeah, just a little bit. So over the last couple of years, we've seen the market go up. We've seen the market go down. This was a flip. Well, it was an unintentional flip. Let me say that. Purchased this house for $35,000. Thought, okay, $35,000 in, $35,000 to reno. We'd stay on the weekends. It ended up being $100,000 to complete the rental, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. And so we had 7. And so for y'all, I'm newly married. So most of my properties I had before I got married, but this one was a project that I thought was going to be a good idea. So be careful with all these people making flipping houses and acquisitions so fancy, because you have to have the cash. This was an all cash deal. So we were in $100,000 in our own cash. But was able to sell it before the market completely turned. And my goal is for me to be able to have enough income, either from my investments or my rental properties, to be able to retire 4 years out, have 2 more mortgages of the 6 remaining. And that was the goal. The goal is to have these other 4 pay for these last 2, and Dawn can go home or have the option to go home without any mortgages in the next 4 years. So that's my journey. I'm about $300,000 from clearing everything. And thanks for allowing me to share, Dawn.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Listen, and I am so proud to be a part of your debt-free journey, you and partnering with us here at the P.I.L.L Method. So thank you so very much for being here today. And Dawn and Rose, jump in anytime you want. We're going to start right now, folks. We're starting in on this thing because we only have a short period of time to talk about it. You want to know the truth? Let's talk about the lie first. Let's talk about one lie, and then this one lie, everything is based on this one lie. Why we're in the financial situation we're in is based on this one lie. Interest rate is a liar. Interest rate is a liar, and everything that we've learned about it is a liar. But we want to be able to unpack the deception and then turn it into the truth. How do we use interest rate a different way than how we have been taught, so that we can help ourselves and stop helping the bank? So let's go ahead and put this on the screen right now. I'm going to move this over here so I can see what's happening. Boom. And There we go. And let's go ahead and, oh boy, here we go. There it is. All right. So let's talk about it, folks. Interest rate being a liar. Right now, I have on the screen a $500,000 mortgage at a low rate. Hey, Miss Liza, I see you out there. I see Lena is back in here today. I see Jonathan back in here, Miss Brenda. I see you all out there. Go ahead, folks. Keep sharing this room to get more people in. If you want to see this, go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method so that you can see what I have on the screen. A $500,000 mortgage at a low rate of 3% for 30 years. But look, when we do the math, when the math is all said and done, this is what you're going to sign when you sit down to close. The bank wants you to pay $258,887.20 on this loan. How is it that a loan could be at 3% and they want you to pay back $258,887.20 on a 3% mortgage? And you borrowed $500,000. Folks, let me ask you, does that look like 3% to you? Does $258,000 sound like 3% of $500,000? Is that deceptive? Do you think that's a lie? Do you think interest rate is lying to you right now when you see this and we start to ask good questions about it? Let me show you. Let me show you what's going on here. So what it will cause you to do, if you're not careful, you're going to negotiate the terms on a $500,000 house and end up paying $750,000 for it. Who wants to pay $758,000 for a $500,000 house? Does anybody want to do that? Anybody? I need to listen. If you want to know, if you believe that interest rate is a liar, just from seeing this, put a number 1 in the chat. Put a number 1 if you're online. Go ahead and put it in the comments. If you believe interest rate is a liar based on this, put a number 1 in the chat right now. Go right ahead, folks, because when you see this, when you see what's happening, the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is not 3%, it's 51.777%. All 3% mortgages, all of them, all 3% mortgages for 30 years are actually 51% mortgages.
Don,
Go
I
ahead.
think that's the part that most people don't understand. And they hear the fancy footwork of, oh, use other people's money, which is true because that's the way that we acquire the property, right? Take control of the property. And the interest rate is only thing that we've been taught. But how the amortization schedule and what you're teaching is something that most people haven't seen nor understand. This is why it's important once you take possession is to figure out the best way, or Don so calls it, put the cheapest way to be able to use the interest in order to pay something off. But this is the thing, it's really not 3%. And I think that's the challenge when people are having a hard time wrapping their mind around, because that's the way that we were taught.
Exactly, Dawn. Exactly. So listen, folks, we're not done with this thing because we're not at 3% right now. Our mortgages are not at 3%. You see, when we stop to take a look at it, this $500,000, if we borrow it at 4% for 30 years, here's what the bank wants. All right. Here's what the bank wants. The bank wants $359,000 in interest on your 4% loan at $500,000. $359,000. That means that the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is 71.87%. 71%, not 4. Well, listen, we don't even have 4% loans right now. Look at 5%. 5% on $500,000. This is why I'm saying that interest rate is a liar. Okay, you have to really find out what's going on here and stop trying to get the best interest rate, because interest rate doesn't matter. What matters is interest cost. And that's the truth of the matter. So the lie, interest rate, the truth, interest cost, and interest cost can be controlled. Oh my goodness, you're going to love this today. All right, for our 5% loan, look at this. $466,279. How is that 5%? Folks, that's 93%. The bank wants us to pay back almost as much in interest as we borrowed in principal. Now your $500,000 home is closing in on $1 million. $966,000. I know you don't want to pay $966,000 for a $500,000 home. I know you don't. But let's take a look at 6%. Listen, if you're fortunate, you might be able to get 6%. You might. These days. Okay? So that when they go there and they offer it to you, most people aren't getting 6%. Okay? A 6% loan, they want you to pay back more in interest than you borrowed in principal. $579,190. That makes it 115.838%. 115.838%. And they get to call it 6%. Folks, do you believe that when you hear interest rate, that most people want you to think that you're getting a deal? When you hear just interest rate and they gloss over interest cost. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, the interest rates now are 7%. 7%. That means on $500,000, here's what the bank wants. The bank wants $697,543.60. That's how much they want. That means the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is 139.5%. How in the world can banking get away with charging 139.5% on a loan and get to call it 7%? Can anybody tell me? Does anybody curious to know how that can be? But folks, you don't have to do that. So if we focus on interest rate, then we're going to make mistakes. If we focus on interest cost, we can do something about it. So if you want to know the difference between interest rate, the lie, and interest cost, the truth, put a number 9 in the chat right now. Listen, I need to know how many people are actually listening and want this information. So Brenda Morris online says, she says, this is incredible. And Wanda Brooks put her number 1 in. All right. So I'm getting all kinds of 9s here. I'm getting 9s and 8s. I'm getting all kinds of numbers here. Tamala says number 9. Let's see. Who's this? David Emmanuel. Listen, David, how are you? Listen, man, you fooled me there. Listen, I listened to David Emmanuel is a stand-up comic. I listened to some of his YouTube tapes. You can check him out. He is on the app RAUOB number 9. Okay, so check out some of his stuff. All right, I was listening to him. So, folks, listen. Here's what we're talking about. Lena Baker says number 9. All right, folks. Bridget Morris is actually watching us online as well. Good morning to everyone that's watching us online. We have up to 10 people right now watching us online. So if you are on Clubhouse right now watching this, if you're on Clubhouse watching this and you put the number 9 in the chat and you want to see what's going on, we just talked about the lie. Let's now talk about the truth. How do we contrast interest rate and interest cost? And when we focus on interest cost, you can do something about it. So let's get out of this. All right. We're going to get out of here. Take this off the screen. All right. We're taking the screen down. Okay. All right. We're taking the screen down right now. And let's put up something else. All right. Let's put up something that's going to help us to understand. I use this a lot. It's called an amortization calculator. And the one that I use for teaching purposes All right. The one that I use for teaching purposes is a guy, he wrote this. His name is Brett Whistle. All right. So we're going to go there right now and take a look at Brett Whistle, see what he's talking about. And we're going to put on here. All right. We're going to put that $500,000 mortgage on. All right. And we're going to put it at 7%. Now, here's what you all need to know. I like the higher interest rates if I can afford the payment. Everything we've learned about finances is literally backwards. We're trying to get the lowest interest rates possible. And because of that, when the interest rates go up, and you can afford to make the payment on these interest rates, the banks make additional money by charging you a premium so that you can get a lower interest rate. When you understand interest cost, then you won't fall for the bank's products. And this is what you need to always ask yourself when it comes to understanding the truth that will get you debt free, or the lie that we have been taught to believe. If the bank offers you a way to save money, who would have to be losing money? Put it in the chat. If the bank is offering you a way to save money, who would have to be losing money? Come on, put your answer in there. Put it online, all right? Who would have to be? Tamala says the bank. So, you are so right. Why would the bank lose money offering you a way to save money? Listen, there's got to be something wrong with it. But we don't know what's wrong with it. Here's why. Because this is the 89th anniversary of the amortized 30-year mortgage. This year. And virtually no information is out there. So we are being fed information that is supposed to be the truth, but it turns out to be the lie that keeps us in debt forever. $500,000, folks, at 7%. And I'm going to show you why I like the 7% here in a minute. Okay. So if you want to see this, if you're new to the room, keep inviting people to the room so that they can see this, and then let them know that they could go to YouTube and watch what we're doing. So we're going to calculate this and then see. I already did it. Sorry. Let me take this out. Did it once. Calculate again. All right. So let's see. Remember what I told you? At 7%, the bank wants $139,509. There it is, right from the calculator itself. And the bank wants $697,543.60. Let's make this just a tad bit bigger on the screen. Now, here's what we're talking about. Oh, Liza, thank you so much. Liza said, it's a business. You better believe banking is a business. All right. And they're in it to make money. So if we take a look at this, the breakdown on this payment, we have a payment here of $326.51. Okay. The principal amount, the amount that actually pays down the loan on the first payment, is $409.84. That's what goes to principal. The interest cost on this one payment is $2,916.67. If you just look at it this way, and you're looking at the interest cost this way, it makes you feel some kind of way, doesn't it? Kind of takes the air out of your balloon. When we take a look at the interest cost, it makes us feel some kind of way. But when you understand interest cost, when you know the rules, Miss Christina Ward just showed up to listen in. Thank you so much for being here this morning. All right. Tell us where you're from. If you understand interest cost, you can make a difference. Here's the thing about interest cost, folks. The bank uses a formula to create this kind of interest cost. But because virtually no one knows how it works, if I were to poll the entire room, have you ever had a class other than the P.I.L.L method classes? Have you ever had a class on how amortization works, how banks make their money, how this whole thing turns in, how a 6% loan turns into a 115% loan? Have you ever had a class on this? But we're expected to use it. I mean, we come out of college, we go into the workforce, we get mortgages, we get credit cards, we get car loans. The interest bearing loan is the most ubiquitous financial tool on the planet. And no one knows how it works. How we're supposed to play a game we don't know the rules to. So let me show you some facts about how this is going on. Only $409 out of your payment goes to principal, just so that we can have a comfortable payment, to have a nice home to live in. But to give them $409, I have to give the bank $2,916.67 in interest. And the next month ain't much better. The next month, only $412 goes to principal and $2,914.28 goes to interest. Let me put a calculator on the screen. Let me show you something, how the bank makes its money, okay? We're putting a calculator on the screen. Our whole payment, okay? Our whole payment is $3,326.51. Our interest part is watch this now. I need you to see something. $2,916.67. That's how much interest we pay. When we divide it by the whole payment of $33.26, we're going to take that money and divide it by $3,326.51. That's our payment. I want to show you something. 87% of your money, of your payment, 0.876. That means 88% of your money is going to interest out of your payment. 88% of it. If we were to break it down like the economists do, because the economists, they talk about your housing dollar. They break it down to the dollar. Your housing dollar, which means out of every dollar, 88 cents out of that dollar goes to interest. And 12 cents out of your dollar goes to pay off your mortgage. What kind of world are we living in when you got a nice house, you got good credit, you've done everything right, and now you're paying for something where 88 cents out of your dollar goes to the bank and only 12 cents goes to your mortgage? Folks, what do you say about that? What are you saying? Good morning, Christina Ward. Good morning to you. Folks, if you're new to the room, go ahead and watch us on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method. I just showed you where the lie has been exposed, okay? Where we're paying 80, my goodness. It's hard for me to even say. 88% of our payment dollar goes to interest and only 12 cents goes to the mortgage. And we think that's okay because no one is taking the time to teach this so that we can understand what's happening. Let me tell you something. Because the bank chose this methodology, the reason why you don't know it and you don't understand it and you're seeing it here for the first time is because the strength of them making money is also this methodology's weakness. The same strength is its weakness. I'm going to expose the weakness right now. If you want to see the weakness of what the bank is doing, if you want to, you see the bank is charging you 88%. The weakness is, if you understand the math, you can save at the same rate they're charging you. You can turn this thing around so that 100%, so that you have more money going to your principal and less money going to interest. You can turn that, you can flip that around. You can save at 88% instead of paying 88%. If you want to see that right now, if you want to see it, go ahead and put a number 8 in the chat. Put a number 8 online if you want to see it. I see Wanda on here. Dorencia, oh my gosh. Dorencia from, can I say, Dorencia, can I tell the folks where you're from? I haven't seen you in years. And here you are in this meeting. It is so good to see you. Oh man, I'm just looking over at the screen and I see you there. Tell the folks where you're from, Dorencia, because oh my goodness. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, girl. Listen, we got to talk, okay? We got to talk. All right. I'm gonna put my card in the let's see, don10k.com. That's my digital card, Dorencia. Please contact me today. Let's talk. All right. All right, folks, let's get this information out here. Let's get this information out here. How do we save at the same rate they're charging us? I'm going to show you something right quick. All right. And we're going to move on. If I make this payment in January, this month, I made my first payment. And out of that $3,300, only $409 went to principal, $2,900 went to interest. I can see next month's principal payment. I can see it. It's right there, $412.23. But there's no law that says I can't give them that $412.23 early. What if I did? What if I gave it to them early? Because I don't have to wait till February to give them the $412.23. I give it to them in January. Guess what? All of this money goes to principal. Every single dime of it goes to principal. And I pay down to line 2 on my amortization schedule right now. I'm paid down to line 2. And guess what? If you're paid down to line 2 in January, your next mortgage payment is on line 3 for February. So what just happened? The bank wants you to get rid of each line. To get rid of each line on your amortization schedule, the bank wants you to pay $33.26.51 on their schedule every single month to get rid of a line. I just showed you how you can get rid of one line on your amortization schedule for only $412.23. And you skip that line. And now you go down to the next one. You just turned 360 monthly payments into 359 monthly payments with just this one move. Do you all like that? Oh my goodness. I am loving this. We're talking about the truth and the lie, folks. The truth and the lie. If you want to be debt free, you need the truth of the matter, and the truth will make you debt free. So let me show you one other thing, folks. Let me show you. If you want to know more, I got to hear it. I got to see it. If you want to know more, come to the stage. I haven't even checked the stage lately. Listen, folks, if you want to see us, if you don't have Clubhouse, if you're online watching us, our audience is actually on Clubhouse. All right. So go to wherever your apps live and download Clubhouse. There's a wealth of information there. All right. Oh my goodness. Wanda says, I think I'm getting it now. So Wanda, I need you to get this also. Watch this. All right. When you understand interest cost versus interest rate, you're going to get a lot more. We're making our January payment. Okay. We've made it. And because you know a little bit more now, Wanda, watch this. Miss Wanda Brooks watching this on YouTube. What if you had a little bit of money in the bank and you said, you know what? If I invest my money here, I can get a huge return. So if I make my regular payment and take a look at the next three principal payments. That would be $412.23, $414.64, $417.06. Okay, a little over $1,200. If I take that $1,200, okay, a little over $1,200. What if I were to make my very first mortgage payment and then give the bank the next three principal payments? A little over $1,200. Look what happens. Nearly $6,000 in interest is eliminated. I never have to pay. I just eliminated 3 lines from the amortization schedule. And my next mortgage payment is number 5 on the schedule. Look at that. Look at that. So when you understand interest rate versus interest cost, and you understand that interest cost is the thing that needs to be manipulated, then you're going to make some different choices, because right now 7% is the norm. I promised you I would tell you, if you understand interest rate versus interest cost, then the higher interest rates, I like them better. I like them better. Okay? If you want to see how the higher interest rates are better than the lower interest rates, and I can prove it to you, put a number 7 in the chat, put a number 7 online in the comments, and I'll show you how the higher interest rates are better than the lower ones. And so Wanda Brooks says she's loving this. She is loving this. Okay? So Rhonda, excuse me, Miss Wanda, do you want to see what I'm talking about? How you don't have to be afraid of the higher interest rates right now? How the bank is leveraging the higher interest rates to get you to pay them anywhere from $11,000 to $17,000 to buy 2 points. Wanda says she wants to see this. She put a number 7 in the chat. What about online? What about, Lena says number 7. She put that in there. Okay. So they're leveraging these higher interest rates, not only to make more money because we don't understand it. We have to get 139% loan, but to keep from paying 139%. Listen, if you were in business lending money, and you can lend out money at 139%, why would you give somebody the opportunity to borrow money at 5%, which means it goes down to 93? I can lend it at 139, but now I'm going to lend it to them so it turns out to only be 93%. 5% loans are 93% loans. 7% loans are 139% loans. If you were in business, why would you even offer that to somebody and only charge them between $11,000 and $17,000 for it? When let me put it on the screen then. Let me go ahead and show this to you. We're going to put it on the screen and show you why the banks do this. Remember, folks, we're talking about the truth and we're talking about the lie this morning. If you want to get out of debt, you got to know the truth. So we're going to show you the difference here. All right, go ahead. We're putting, we've got, scrolling here, we got the 7% loan, and we've got a $500,000 loan, and we're putting it in at 5% because we paid some money to get it. I want to show you something. That makes absolutely no sense. And why aren't we asking more questions about it? Okay? Here's the difference. Let me put my calculator on the screen. Okay? Here's what the bank is offering us. All right. The total interest cost on this loan is $697,000. $697,543. All right. 0.60. That's how much money they're going to make. They'll probably make more. How do I know that most people who have this loan will pay this and more? Because 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage, ever. You just think about it. Out of all the people you know, and have ever known that had a mortgage, how many have come back to you and said, I've paid off my mortgage? If you do the numbers, I bet it's less than 10% of the people you know. So I know people are going to pay this and more. So now the bank says, I've got you locked in. I've got you locked in at 7%. All right. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to give me $17,000 between $11,000 and $17,000 to get a lower interest rate where we get you at 5%. OK, where you're down to $466,000. Now, let me show you how ridiculous this is. Okay, $697,000. That's what they had you at 7%. They offered you $17,000. You pay us an additional $17,000, and then we'll give you the 5% loan. Where we can only charge you $466,000. I'm subtracting now, $279.60. Watch this. We're going to give you $231,000 in interest savings, and we're only going to charge you $17,000 for it. Folks, in what universe does this make sense? Is the bank crazy here? Would you think if somebody was running your business and you had an opportunity to charge somebody $697,000, okay? You had somebody to do that. All right. And somebody who's in your business says, no, just pay us $17,000. And that way we'll give you a deal and we'll only charge you $466,000. We're going to, for $17,000, we're going to give you a $231,000 discount. Does that make sense to you guys? Wanda Brooks says, I love seeing it on the calculator. Folks, when you see the numbers, it makes sense. The truth comes to light. It's the truth that makes you free, debt free, not the lie. So when you stop to think about it, folks, it really doesn't make sense for them to offer you that. Here's why. I'm going to show you why they would offer you for you to pay $17,000 so that you can get the lower interest rate. They're going to charge you to make the loan harder to pay off. Oh, my goodness. We got to pay them $17,000 to get a loan that's harder to pay off. Well, listen, remember at $500,000, look at my principal payment here. It's $409. For $412, I can get rid of one line on my amortization schedule. For a little over $1,600, I can get rid of 3 lines and save over almost $6,000 in almost $9,000 in interest if I did it that way. Look here, I need you to clue in on cumulative principal and cumulative interest right there. And this is how much principal I would pay down in 1 year. That's adding up all these $400 payments. Comes to $5,079 and a penny. But if I add up all the interest payments, it comes to $34,839.11. So if I prepay this, if I give this to the bank up front, I skip 11 monthly mortgage payments I don't have to make, and I skip all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. Folks, that's a total of right here. I'm highlighting it for you. $31,949.52. If you're new to the room, come to YouTube and watch what I have on the screen. Just search P.I.L.L method on YouTube. Do it on a laptop or a laptop or your tablet. Okay. What? Wanda says I can see the light. And listen, folks, my engineer in the background, Kurt Nugent, because I'm watching 4 screens right now. What he does is somebody makes a comment online, he'll highlight it and it'll get my attention out of my peripheral vision. And then this is what it takes to put on a show like this. You think I can do all this by myself? Kurt Nugent, I'm hoping he can come on a little bit later. If you need an engineer, if you need somebody to help you to go live, Kurt Nugent is your guy. All right. Just go ahead and Google him. Go ahead and oh yeah, there it is, Kirk Nugent, Kirk10klive.com, Kirk10klive.com. You can get a hold of him there. All right. So, all right, folks, here's what we're looking at. Remember, $5,000 can kill 1 year on this loan and save you $31,000. $400 can wipe out one line off your amortization schedule. That's at 7%. Let me show you why the bank is willing to charge you $17,000 so that you can get a lower interest rate. And it looks like it's costing them, let me put it back on the screen. It looks like it's costing them $231,000. You give us $17,000 and, we'll give you $231,000 discount. That's what it looks like. Okay. And it is true. This is not a lie. It's just not the whole truth. Okay. It's misleading. Let me show you what they just did by changing this loan. Remember, now when we lower the interest rate, we increase the principal payment. Look at that. We increase the principal payment. Now to get rid of one line, how much money do we have to come up with? $600? To get rid of one line. We got to pay more. Remember, I showed you back here where $5,000 gets rid of like 1 year off the mortgage, just wipes it out and saves $31,000 in interest you don't have to pay. Watch this. Watch this. When you understand it, look, it only knocks out eight or nine payments at the 5% loan. Your money is not as effective at the lower interest rates if you're trying to save money on interest and pay the loan off faster. The bank owners know this. Even the people in the bank that are selling this product really do believe that they're giving you a better product and a better opportunity. But the bank owners know we just made it harder for them to pay off this loan. If we give them the 7% and they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be out of debt in 7 to 9 years. If we charge them and make them believe they're getting a better deal, give them the lie instead of the truth, then we got them. They got to come up with more money somehow to save money on interest. And we're going to make more interest in the long run at 5%. And that's, listen, how do they know who to give to offer this to? How do they know who it is? Because some of you have been studying. Some of you have gone to school, at least looked at how much interest you are paying. Some of you realize that your parents still have a mortgage and your grandparents still have a mortgage, and you don't want one. You don't want one forever. Okay. So you're studying, you're asking good questions. And so when you start asking these questions, they say, here's somebody's been studying. And if they find out too much and they keep this 7% loan, we're going to end up making less money overall because they're going to start prepaying and they may run across the secret to our success. They may run across it. So let's do this. Let's give them the 5% loan, charge them $17,000 for it. And then they already think they're saving money and they won't look any further. They won't look any further. They won't study this anymore. And they'll end up paying more interest here than they would at the 7% loan if they keep searching because they don't like 7%. Listen, if you search, you'll find it. Okay. So, folks, are you seeing what we're talking about? Are you seeing here what we mean? Listen, folks, we're going to take this off the screen. All right. And I'm going to take a look at my notes and see what's next. If you have any questions, right now, come to the stage. And Credit Goddess, Dawn, if you've got anything that you'd like to say about this, I see Liza out there. All right, folks. So we're going to take this off the screen, and then so that I can get to my notes. Okay. So we're going to take the amortization schedule off, and I'm waiting for. I want you to do it, Kurt, and just bring me up. There you go. All right, there we go, and take that off. And so, listen, we are not the reason why this thing is the way it is. Okay, the reason why this thing is the way it is because we're not intuitive when it comes to being economists. We're not intuitive economists. In fact, we will make huge mistakes when it comes to this, and people take advantage of the fact that we're not intuitive economists. This is why we give you a book on the P.I.L.L method book. The P.I.L.L method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, maps out for you the tools you need to eliminate debt. Okay? It tells you what the tools are, and it tells you why you need them. You come to the P.I.L.L method to learn how to use these tools to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. Okay? That's what we're talking about. So get the book today. Go to Amazon today and get this book, and then share it with your children. If you have small children in the house, start teaching them these principles now, because I guarantee you, no matter where they go for college, where they go for university, no matter what they choose to do in life, they are not going to get this information. And they'll end up spending way more on interest also. Teach your children. If your children are grown, get them the book for a present. Tell them to read it so that they can stop paying all that interest, so they can get out of debt in 7 to 9 years and stop paying all of this. So, folks, here's what we need by we're not intuitive economists. I read a book, all right, and it's called Predictably Irrational. All right, I'm pulling it up now. Predictably Irrational. All right, and I'm putting that on the screen right now. So let's pull that up. We're putting it back on the screen. Predictably irrational. This is a branch of science, okay, and economics. It's called behavioral economics. It's putting the science of psychology and economics together, and how we as human beings we're not intuitive economists. We don't come to this information to do the right thing naturally. Naturally, we do the wrong thing and make wrong decisions that cost us money. Naturally. And this book points it out. And there are several books out there on behavioral economics. Okay. And I've read some of them. So this is one that you want. Predictably Irrational. All right. And it's in audio form as well. So let me go ahead and put something else up here. My goodness. Some of the other books that I've read. Let me see here. We're going to pull this up on this screen, and then behavioral. Okay, behavioral economics. All right. We're going to do a quick search on it. There's even websites about it. Behavioral economics. And we're going to search it. Boom. All right. And let's see here. Let's bring over this tab. Oh, you know what? I want to see the books. I want behavioral economic books. All right. There you go. All right. So let me slide this over. Boom. Okay. Now, Misbehaving. I've read this one. Here it is again, predictably irrational. And this one, thinking fast and slow. Thinking fast and slow talks about when it comes to money, thinking fast is the easy way of understanding money. Thinking fast, we want to the fast thinker is a lazy way of doing it. Give us 1, 2, 3. Give us something easy. Give us something like the debt snowball. That's what fast thinking does. Slow thinking takes more time, is more deliberate. And when it comes to money, we don't like, as human beings, we don't like going down that path. And so when we start to ask good questions like, if the bank is offering me a deal so they can lose money, why would they do that? So we're not asking those questions. We take the deal because it's easy, because it's fast. We don't even bother to ask the question. It's the same thing when we refinance. If they're offering us a lower interest rate, and even your own bank, why would you even do that? Why would you even entertain an idea that your own bank has you locked in at a higher interest rate and your own bank offers you a lower interest rate? And that's a deal, and you take it. What's in it for them? They just made it harder for you to pay off the loan. That's what's in it for them. All right. So let me see here. Let me take a look at some of these other books and see if I've read some of these. But there's a whole ton of books on behavioral economics. This one I've read, Nudge. I've read that one. That's a good one. Let me see here. Well, that's just some of the books on behavioral economics. So look it up, folks, to find out why is it that we make such poor decisions when it comes to money, and we think we're doing the right thing. Do you know why? Because people who are in this business study psychology. And they take advantage of the fact that human beings are, when it comes to being economists, that we are predictably irrational, and they take advantage of that because they can predict what most of us will do when it comes to money so that they can make more money. So they give it to us in a way that they can make more money. So if you can predict what somebody will do, what if you could go to Vegas and go to the casino? What if you could predict which one is going to be the winner? Oh man, you'd clean up. And so they use this information. Their psychologists can predict what we will do, thinking we're putting ourselves in a better position, which actually helps them to make more money. So you need to read more about behavioral economics if you want to understand what is the truth about this situation versus the lie. We don't automatically know what to do when it comes to money. And everything that you've been taught about it is actually backwards. So that's another thing to help us to understand the truth versus the lie. All right. So that's how they sell. Okay. I went over that. That's how we sell financial products. Real estate investors are making great money when they're in this, but they're leaving millions of dollars on the table. Millions of dollars on the table. Okay? So let me give you an example of that. Let me pull this back. How real estate investors are leaving millions of dollars on the table. Here's one example. Okay? Then we can have let me see here. Let's see, $5,400. So payment of $5,400 for 300 payments. Okay, at 5% interest. This is a commercial loan, folks. And this one. Okay, I'm sorry. We need. I think this payment needs to be a little bit more, $5,600. Let's take that out. Okay. and delete that and do it again. Okay. So we have $5,600 payment on a commercial building. The mortgage is $957,000. And look what's happening here. Look what's happening. And the amount of principal and the amount of interest. Okay. In 1 year, if you're new to the room, and you want to see this, go to YouTube. And folks, continue to share the room so we can get people in here. And if you're online, share it with those that you love and you like. Share it. We have 15 shares on Clubhouse. And so continue to share the room. And if you want to see this, go to YouTube so you can see it. We're talking about it's the truth that makes you debt free, not the lie. All right. So real estate investors, look at this. In 1 year, and this property is cash flowing like crazy, making money on it. But out of all the money that has been given them, almost $20,000 went to principal, $47,000, almost $48,000 went to interest. Okay. So we're looking at about $67,000. $67,000 went out. So if they made this payment on this mortgage, they just gave the bank $67,000 of the money their tenants, the tenants gave this money to the landlord, to the one who owns the property. Okay. The tenants gave them over $67,000. And out of that money, this much money, $19,751 went to principal. Folks, if somebody gave you $67,000, why would you be happy about the fact that you had to give up $47,000 of it? Why? Under any circumstance, if somebody gave me that much money, why would I be happy about the fact that, they gave me the money. I gave away $47,000 of it, but I get to keep $19,000 and I'm happy. Why would I be happy? We're taught to be happy. Remember when I told you that we're predictably irrational when it comes to money, and somebody takes advantage of that? Folks, we're talking about the truth versus the lie today. So every real estate investor I know keeps some cash on the side for repairs and maintenance. Let's say they have several $1,000s in that fund. It's sitting, now get this, that their fund to make repairs on their building is sitting in a fund, a reserve fund, in a bank, in a savings account. Sometimes it's in a checking account, but let's say it's in a savings account where it's making at least 0.1%. That money, all that money is sitting in a bank account because we keep it on the side for repair. It's smart to keep money available for repairs and maintenance, and the fact that some of your apartments or some of your units, some of your doors may go unrented for a while. So you have to have a backup, right? You have to have a backup, and that's okay. But what if you have some cash and you have more than you need, right? And it's sitting in the bank. Let me give you an example of what could be done. You know how much is going into that reserve fund every month. Let's just say that you're in a position where you're doing well and you could put, let's say, $5,000 away in your reserve fund, and you take the rest of the money and you're investing the rest of your money that you're making on your buildings. Okay. So on this one building, you're going to say, let me take a look at what I'm doing here. And what if I borrow $19,000 from myself out of this reserve fund? $19,000. It's about, let's just round it up to $20,000. Let's just take that, put it on this mortgage. Look what happens. I'm paid down to line 12. And here's how you need, real estate investors, here's how you need to look at this. You're moving the loan from point A to point B. You're moving the loan from how much you owe, all right, $957,000, all right? You're moving to how much you owe down to how much you owe now, $938,000. So you're moving it from point A to point B, from the starting point to the principal balance you would have on line 12. Now, here's what I want to ask you. How much does it cost you in interest to do that? If you do it the bank's way, it costs you $47,448 to move it from point A to point B. If you borrow the money from yourself out of that bank account that's making 1/10 of 1% and apply it to principal on line 1, you're paid down to this point in 1 month. 1 month. And it doesn't cost you $47,448.24 to pay it down to here. It only costs you $3,991.40. Come on, folks. Do you see it? Here's the truth of the matter. So, thank you, sir. Come on. That is amazing. That's why we're here. Kirk Nugent with the P.I.L.L method, Don Daniel right here, giving you this information, making sure that you have something that you can go home with and study up on some more. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. I can't tell you enough. Get the book and start reading it. Do you know how many people call me on a daily basis and say, I'm reading your book. I've read your book. You know what kind of feeling that is? That somebody read the book and is getting benefit out of it, and now they're teaching their children. But this kind of thing. And now, let's finish this example up. I just took $20,000 out of my savings account. Okay, now finish this. Just took $20,000 out of my savings account, applied it to this mortgage, just saved myself $43,000 to pay it down to the same place that the bank wants me to pay them $47,000 of my hard-earned dollars to them to move the mortgage from point A to point B. We moved it from point A to point B for only $3,991, the interest on line 1. There it is, which is way better. Okay, now, what if I don't do anything at all until I can replace the money I borrowed from myself? I got to pay myself back. Now, remember, we're putting about $5,000 a month into this thing. I used $20,000 to pay this down, to save $43,000. Because it's money I was going to pay anyway. All right. This is equity. I just got all this equity. For only for a little less than $4,000. Otherwise, to get this equity, I would have to give the bank $47,000 to get it. Which way is better? Which way is better to you? So now, what if I don't do anything until I pay this money back to myself? If I borrow $20,000 to accomplish this feat, if I do that, then how long is it going to take me to pay myself back if I'm putting $5,000 away every month? Yeah, that's right. It'll take me 4 months to put that money back. Okay? T.S. Mitchell's got a question. All right? Let me get to that right after this. Remember, if I pay myself back in 4 months, here's my question. Could I borrow another $20,000 from myself and do the same thing again? Pay myself back in another 4 months and do it again? Pay myself back in another 4 months and do it again? Oh my goodness. That's what we're talking about here, folks. So T.S. Mitchell online has a question that says, do I have to create my own amortization schedule? Very good question. Very good question. You can create your own amortization schedule. All right. If you go to, you can go to brettwhissell.net, BRETWHISSEL.net, and you can use the same one I have on the screen here. All right. So yeah, it's brettwhissell.net. It's right up here. But with our system, we don't use Brett Whistle. We use an opportunity cost calculator that does all of the math and tells us exactly what to do and when. So here's another one flavor from the Caribbean. It says, and you apply this to your car payment. Yeah, you can apply it to the car payment as well. All right, you can do you can apply that to a car payment as well. All right. So folks, here's what you need to know. All right. I'm going to bring up an amortization schedule. All right. That's built into a computer program. So you'll never see the amortization schedule, because here's the thing. If you have an amortization schedule and you even pay $1 towards principal, you just destroyed that amortization schedule and you have to make a new one. Every time you do something different to this thing, you have to make a new one. And you want to you want to be able to put yourself in a position where you can save the maximum amount of money in interest per dollar. Okay? So if we do this, let me pull this up on the screen for you. And we're to tell the truth about it is the lie is, here's the next lie. The next lie is, this is so simple, you can do it yourself. All you have to do is pay more. Do you know how many people have come on my my YouTube channel or my Facebook, and they see our advertising, they see what we're doing, they see what people have been paying off their debt in 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 7 years. They see that, and they come on and complain and says, what? You paid this guy to tell you to pay more? Oh, it's more than that. It's more than that. If that's all there was, folks, 9 out of 10 people you know would be able to pay off their mortgages. This thing is set up for 90% of us to fail. If it was so easy, then why aren't more people doing it? That's the lie, that it is easy. Folks, this thing is hard. We have taken something, you need to write this down. Just because we simplified the process doesn't make it simple. Okay? All right. Go. Hi, Yolanda from Michigan. So, Yolanda from Michigan, she said, I jumped off of Clubhouse. She says, good morning to you, so she can come over here on Facebook and watch us. Listen, Yolanda, she knows I'm from Michigan, and when she puts that up there, just... I notice it. I grew up in Battle Creek, Michigan. All right. And Caribbean, Flavor Caribbean says, thank you for watching us on YouTube. All right. Let me check and see if there are any more, something that says here, questions on Clubhouse here. Someone answered my questions, please. Okay. So it says here, it is not a criminal act to be able to save. What are you talking about? What is this? What is this on my? What is this on here? All right. Listen, this is not the room for this. Is this person still in here? Listen. Hi, Donna. How are you doing? Donna, do me a favor, and if you see some stuff in the chat that shouldn't be there.
I wanted to, but because I wasn't modded and I was waiting till you're finished, I couldn't remove it.
Donna, you don't wait for me to look and to see who's in here.
You know what? I know.
Don't even do. I'm looking at 10 screens over here.
Don't worry.
Donna, please, because
I got you in the back.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. And then when you're done, come back and tell us who you are. Interrupt me and tell us who you are and what you're doing. Okay. So, folks.
Wait, am I between Don, and Donna? Don, and Donna.
Say that 3 times fast.
Don, Don, and Donna.
Oh, come on, Rose. Okay. All right. Listen, I'm having such a good time sharing this information, folks, about the lie, versus the truth here. The lie versus the truth. That's what we're talking about. All right. So somebody says that they would love to speak with me. Helen says, "Good morning, Don. I would love to speak with you." So Helen, here we go. Bridget Morris is giving some hand claps out. So listen, call my assistant, Helen. Let me put this in the chat for you. Don, 10K.com. All right. My assistant's name is Teresa. You'll find her information on this. Set up let's chat a little bit and see how we might be able to help out. Coffee Brown is even in here this morning right now, folks. Coffee, how are you?
Don, I am incredible. Hello, Credit. Hello, Don. Hello, Donna. Got these beautiful bosses in the building. How are you?
Listen, I'm more than excited. We're just telling the truth about if you have the truth, you could be debt free. But folks, there's so many lies out there that are masquerading as the truth that keep us in debt forever. Right? And we're just exposing the lies this morning, Coffee, so people can see the truth. That's what's up.
It's exposing the lies for me, Don. And too, Don, I love what you just said. There has to be a mental cleansing to take place where we disconnect ourselves from all those things that we thought to be true. That's another main element and component to being able to be successful in accepting this information and being able to regurgitate it to the point of being able to be free. Freedom is a challenging thing when you thought that you were already free, or the lies that you've been told are embedded in your subconscious. So you've got to clean that out, that portal out, to receive that new information. So thank you for all that you do. It takes some time to do that, and we appreciate you being the bishop of relieving us from debt. Amen.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey folks, listen, somebody asked me about putting up do we have to create our own amortization schedule to do this? The answer is no. We've already done it for you. A computer program that runs everything, all of your debt. Okay. So I'm going to put that over on the screen now. It's called the P.I.L.L Method Opportunity Cost Calculator. It's on the screen right now. And right now in here are 3 debts. Okay. I'm going to show you what we have in here. We've got a mortgage. We've got a credit card and an auto loan. So I'm going to change it though. I'm going to change it to show you how complicated this thing can get. All right. So we're going to reset this account because this is our demo. I'm going to put in multiple properties. It takes a time. I'm putting in about 11 properties now. Okay. And we're resetting it. It takes to load those 11 properties, and takes a few minutes, and it's all done. Look at this. Okay. So we have a total of, let me see here, principal remaining. We have 11 properties in here. We got 11 loans, okay? 10 mortgages, 1 second mortgage, which is a HELOC. $2,947 worth, okay? $2,947,500 worth in this thing right now. And each one has its own amortization schedule. Each one has its own amortization schedule running in the background. Okay? And so when we're getting in our rents, we're making $15,000 in rents here on our properties. And we're paying everything out. And I can take a look here and say, out of our $15,000 in rents, we're cash flowing about $3,484 when we take a look at everything we have to pay. All right. So we are cash flowing about a third of that money that's coming in. All right. So now let me show you what's happening with this. If you follow what we've been talking about, okay, here's the truth. The truth is it's very complicated. The truth also is that we have simplified the process so that you can know what to do and when to do it, how much money to move, what month to move it in, and which loan to apply it to, and which day of the month to do it on, to save the most amount of interest per dollar. Let me go into the accounts here, and let's let you see. Here's mortgage number 10, $300,000. Here's mortgage number 1. Here's mortgage number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the HELOC. Okay, so we have 10 mortgages and a HELOC. All right, so a home equity line of credit. And so when you're putting money on, you don't spread your money so thin and try to put money on principal on several different loans. You pick one. And then you decide how we can attack those loans. Watch what we're doing here when the program says we're going to take what you're doing and tell you that, let me see, the next transfer to debt. We're starting out in October here because we can see 3 months at a time. And the program, it says, out of all the monies you're bringing in, all right, let's take a small amount of that money that you're bringing in, and on 12/1/2020, you can put $7,559 on debt. There you go. How about that? On 12/1, you can put $7,559 on debt. It tells you when you can do it. If you scroll down here, let's bypass all of this and show you what I mean. Out of all of the mortgages you have, the program is telling you, first of all, pay off the HELOC to zero. That's it. HELOC has been paid off. All right. And then out of all the rest of the mortgages, you got 10 mortgages. It says put $4,097.73. I mean, to the penny. Don't put any more than that. Okay. So whoever asked me, do you have to do this on your own? No, it's already done for you. And and it says, put it on mortgage number 9, not on 8, not on 7, not on 3, not on 2, not on 1, but mortgage number 9. And then when you put the $4,097.73 on that mortgage, the program is going to do something astonishing for you. It's going to tell you how much interest you're saving when it's through calculating. And this is amazing. Out of the monies you're bringing in, the program is choosing this mortgage to put that money on this day, $4,097.73, so that your future interest savings, listen, I need to blow this up so you can really see it. We just saved $47,626.03 on this particular mortgage. And now, think about it this way. Right now, that's probably our most expensive mortgage in interest cost. Not interest rate, but interest cost. It all depends on how much you owe and what the interest rate is and what the term is to figure out what your interest cost is per month. Even if you're a consumer, the average family pays 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest. That's the truth. But the lie is we're taught not to understand our interest consumption. How much interest are we actually consuming each month? We don't know. That's the lie. We don't know. The truth is that's how much we're doing. What can we do about it? So if you have all of that going on, and now you try to incorporate you as a real estate investor with more than one mortgage, who wants to sit down and try to work out all the details and which mortgage to attack and what month to do it in with how much money. Because when we put money on here, folks, when this program puts money on the debt, we're telling you that at this time, I'm going to put the calculator on the screen. Watch this. Because of this, we're saving $47,626.03. If we do this much money on this day and we divide it by what we paid, what we prepaid was $4,097.73. We're going to divide it by $4,097.03. The program knows that we just saved $11.62 for every dollar we applied to principal. $11 $11 in interest saved, $11.62 for every dollar you just applied. If you put any other amount, even more on, you will save less than $11.62. This is why the program says stop at $4,097.73. Don't put an extra penny on. Stop right there. If you want to optimize the use of your money and you want to save the most amount of money per dollar, and in this case, $11.62 for every dollar, then follow this program. That's how it's done. We've taken a complicated process and show you how you can cut your interest costs by about 75%, making precise calculations. Listen, folks said you can do this on your own. Yeah, okay. Then when the next time you go on a trip, I need you to put your destination in your GPS, and every now and then just pull your car over to the side, take out your old paper map, and try to reroute yourself better than the GPS. Just stop. Just stop looking at the GPS. Stop listening to the lady tell you where to turn and which exit to get off of, and get your paper map and see if you can beat it. You can't. This is computer driven. This is computer optimization. This is AI, folks. This is looking at all the loans. Let me tell you what's really going on here. This program is doing this. I'm going to break it down for you, and then I'm going to take some questions. We're going to break it down here. A computer is not smart. It's just fast, and you have to set it up right. So if you have a certain amount of money, the computer doesn't instantly know how much money to put on which loan and what day to do it in, on which month to do it on. It doesn't automatically know that. It has to do a process. And let me break down the process for you. Right now, we have over $4,000 to use. So how do we know, how does the program know to stop at $4,097.73? How does the computer know that? It takes a look at the money that you have available, and it takes one penny and moves it on every day, on every loan, in every month. And then it takes 2 pennies, and then 3 pennies, and then 4 pennies. On all the days, on all the months, on all the loans, and then compares all the results and gives you the right amount to do in about 3 seconds. They're fast. They're not smart. They're just fast. They can do all of that, move all the pennies on all the days, on all the loans, in all the months, and then come up with $4,097.73 to put on this particular loan so that we can save the most in interest per dollar, $47,626.03. Now, you can try to do this on your own, and there's no way on God's green earth that you'll be able to save as much interest as this computer can. Folks, this is the truth of the matter. The big truth is it is way too complicated to optimize your finances on your own because we're predictably irrational when it comes to money. And I'm trying to tell you today that there are people who that in banking system, they've hired psychologists that understand human behavior, that teach you, that give you products in such a way that you think you're saving money, you think you're putting yourself in a better position, and you're making them money hand over fist, and they're using your psychology against you. Start studying behavioral economics and see that I'm telling you is true. Stop trying to figure all of this out on your own and get a coach. Get a whole team to help you. We have customer service available 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. We have coaching staff available that's going to help you to understand the new financial literacy. That's the truth of the matter. Get the truth. Get away from the lie. All right. So we got 20 minutes left. We got 20 minutes left in this show. Do I have any questions? Do I have any comments? Somebody raise your hand, because if you don't, I do have a couple of more examples of truth versus lie. I do. Truth versus the lie. Okay. What about what we're doing as far as tradition? Listen, I need y'all to tell me the truth versus tradition. Well, it's tradition that if you could save 2 points on your mortgage, right? If you can save 2 points on your mortgage, it's time to refinance, right? If you can get, if you're at 7%, here's what the experts are telling you, folks. The experts are telling you, if you're at 7%, the experts are telling you you need to refinance if the rates drop to 5. I've already shown you that if you can afford the 5%, the 7% interest rate, you're better off. Somebody's trying to get my attention here. Yolanda from Michigan says, Don, after we read your book, is the first step to fill out the questionnaire? Yes. The first step is to go online. The first step is to go online. Go to PILLmethod.com. Go to PILLmethod.com. All right. And you'll see a button in the middle of the page that says get a savings and earnings report. Folks, this is the truth. The savings and earnings report is the truth. It is so much the truth. Let me tell you what we do. We're going to guarantee, when you fill this out, we're going to guarantee for the rest of your lives that you're going to get the best information possible on how to handle your money. Your results are guaranteed. You will not get some disclaimer that will say results vary. You're not going to get the same results as somebody else. We're not going to do that to you. We're going to, with that information, we'll be able to tell you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free and how much interest you're going to save. And we have to meet those benchmarks or do better than that. We have to do better than that. All right. Somebody's just raised their hand, wants to come up to the stage. All right. All right. We have to do better than what they're saying. And if when we do better than that, listen, then you're going to be completely satisfied with our process and with our product. But guess what? If we don't produce, if you're following our program and we don't give you everything that we just said, in writing, we have to give you your money back in writing. And guess what, folks? This is our 17th year in business. 17 years in business. We have an A+ rating with the P.I.L.L method has an A+ rating with Better Business Bureau. And in 17 years, not one complaint with Better Business Bureau. Even listen, I'll go one step further. Google P.I.L.L method. Google Don Daniel. Google Don Daniel and the P.I.L.L method. You won't find one negative word about someone who's actually used this program and didn't like it. Not one in 17 years. I don't know of any business that can make that claim. To God be the glory. Because I did not give this, I didn't wire my brain myself. Because I'm Because I'm autistic, I see things in this thing that nobody else sees, and I'm sharing it with you. To God be the glory that we've been in business 17 years and we don't have one negative word on the internet. Listen, you can research practically anything or any company and you'll find somebody complaining. Not here. And again, to God be the glory. All right, so we just brought somebody else up on stage. Nibia, what's going on?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. What's your question? What's your comment today?
Well, I don't have a question. I'm just excited to have you tomorrow, 7 p.m. in my room, so you can help all these folks. But I, I am really, really, you know what? I just want to encourage anyone that is in the listening lounge. If you do not have this book, The Pill Method, you are doing yourself a disservice. This is something that you can be handed down from generation to generation. We have been taught so wrong on how to let ourselves be raped, literally, of our finances. And I do want to quote something from the Bible where it says the borrower is slave to the lender. Whether you believe the Bible or you don't believe it, that is the truth. And it was said many, many years ago. And so if we have a vehicle by which we can get in and ride comfortably to our state of financial freedom, I think we should all just pile on in. I know that in this book, which I purchased a while ago, you talk about how you can gather small amounts of money and apply them as principal payments and how to reverse the leveraging action of amortization so that you can cut your interest costs. And who doesn't want to cut interest costs? Like, I don't know. If you want to do that, please say so in the chat. This is a game changer. I mean, we talk a good game about financial freedom, but when you really understand how the system is set up and how you can come in and undercut that system and to cut yourself free, I mean, there's no place like Freedom Home. There's no place like it. So that's my share. I didn't want to take up too much time, but is that Credit Goddess up there? I want to
Yes, it
say hi to
is.
her. Yes, hello, beloved. And Donna down next to me. But I just applaud everyone in their places where they are helping people to understand, like Credit Goddess, and helping people to understand how credit works, the truth of it, and I believe what Donna does is helping with securing properties, and it is this is a gathering place. This is the watering hole. This is the cooler out in the office hallway, if you will, and so this is where we gather to get educated. So and thank you so much for all of you for what you do.
And thank you for coming to the stage. Is there anyone else that wants to raise their hand? Listen, folks, I want to spend the rest of this time encouraging you that if we've said anything that resonates with you, get your savings and earnings report. And if you see this as a mission, as we do, telling the truth about how we have been led down this path of slavery to debt because we did not know how to read. Yes, there was a time when it was illegal to teach slaves how to read. Because once people start reading, they start learning, they start getting educated, their minds become freer. Okay? So when we don't know how to read an amortization schedule, we don't know how to read a loan contract, when we don't know how to read how to borrow money, when we don't know how to read this thing that's right in front of us, it's required that they give it to us. It is not required that they explain it to us properly. And that's why we're here. Flavor from Caribbean says, I have just one question. Where can I get this program? Baby, go to pillmethod.com. Go to pillmethod.com, or listen, better yet, get my whole business card, which is ice10k.com, ice10k.com. All right, I'm putting it in the comment section for you, Flavor. All right, ice10k.com. All right, let me see if I can put that in there for you. There you are. All right, When you it didn't post. Hold on. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. There it is. So not only can you find the button that says get a savings and earnings report, not only that, but folks also become an affiliate with the P.I.L.L method. It's free to sign up as an affiliate. And by sharing this good news, all the work has been done for you. All of it is up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's all there. For over a year, we've been here 3-4 times a week. Then all you do is find somebody who has at least $100,000 in debt and a mortgage. They have to have at least one mortgage and at least a total of $100,000 in debt combined. If you send them to our YouTube channel so that they can watch some of these videos, follow up with them in no more than 48 hours. And if they want to know more, then you fill out the second button, which says that you can refer them to us and put your name as the referring partner. Because if you fill out the first part, we have you in our system. So when you send that over, then we will go to work and help that person know the month, day, and year they'll be debt free, how much interest they could save. And once they become a client, we will send you $300 in the manner in which you've indicated when you signed up as an affiliate, because you have to tell us how you want to get paid. Just that simple. We need your help to get the message out. So, folks, I'm asking you, if you resonate with this, if you don't resonate with it, don't worry about it. I mean, it's just not your thing. But if you get excited about it, like we've gotten excited about it, go ahead and become an affiliate for free. Start sharing this information and making $300 every time we bring on a new client. Oh, and if you get really good at it, we'll show you how you can take home $1,000 for every new client. We'll show you how you can do that. Folks, I'm excited today. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up, but I hope you've learned enough about tradition and about the way that we've taught to understand money in a way that it keeps us in debt forever. Stop doing what the bank wants you to do. I'm going to give you one last example on refinancing here. One last example. We're going to put that up on the screen, and then we're going to close it out. Okay? We talked about if you have a 7% interest rate, and the rule of thumb is if you could save 5%, refinance. Well, the average refinance can cost upwards to $10,000. I've seen it as high as $17,000. It's actually higher. I've actually seen higher. Okay, for people who have poorer credit, they charge you more. Okay, so let me show you what happens if we have a $500,000 mortgage and we can get it at 7% instead. Our payment, we have a $500,000 mortgage at 7%, and we can get it down to 5%. Instead of $33.26, our new payment. Let me get this out of here. Take that out. Instead of $33.26, our new payment is going to be $26.48. Okay, $26.48. But remember, to refinance, it's going to cost about $10,000. So this, which means that this loan was paid down to $490,000, cost $10,000 that was rolled into the loan, so that you don't have to pay the closing fees out of pocket. Okay, so now here's what we're looking at. Let's pay back the first $10,000 because we put $10,000 on top. We borrowed 10 grand. We put a loan within the loan. We borrowed 10 grand in order to get that great interest rate, this better interest rate, so we can lower our payment. because our bank called us and said, "Oh, we want to save you money." So they offered us a lower interest rate and a new mortgage, so we can save money, about over $1,000. Oh, thank you, but they charged us $10,000 for it. How many customers does the bank have that have mortgages, and they're trying to get them all to refinance? Think about it. Not hundreds of thousands. Some of these banks have millions of customers who have mortgages, and they have whole departments that do nothing but refinance these mortgages so you can save money. They're paying thousands upon thousands of people so you could save money, which means the bank would be losing money. Thousands of refinances every single year, paying anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 or more for the privilege of refinancing the loan. Let me show you what happens here. Quickly, it takes 17 months to pay back that $10,000. How much interest did we just pay on that $10,000? $35,000 in interest on that $10,000 loan. If you got an email or a letter from your credit union that says, "Listen, I want to lend you $10,000 for 17 months, and I'm going to charge you $35,000 in interest for it," would you sign up for that loan? All of you would say no. Folks, this is just one of the ways that they make money on this thing. If you borrow $10,000 and you pay back $10,000 in interest, that's 100% interest. If you borrow $10,000 and you pay $20,000 in interest, that's 200% interest. And if you borrow $10,000 and you pay back $30,000 in interest, that's 300% interest. We have a 305% interest loan sitting right here in front of us, and because we don't know how to read, we can't see it. Multiply lending money out at 300% interest to millions upon millions of customers. This is just one way they make money. Folks, I hope we've told you the truth today. I hope we've given you enough information so that you can get your savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com, become an affiliate, get your savings and earnings report, and also click on the button to get the book today. We're going to say goodbye to everybody online, and then we're going to come right back and have everybody on stage say goodbye to the folks on Clubhouse. Folks, we will see you again on Friday. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.